Breaking news coming in. Pakistan has lodged a protest with the Indian High Commissioner Raghavan over drone and ceasefire violations. The Indian High Commissioner was called by the Foreign Secretary to lodge a strong protest over airspace violations at Betrayal sector. The Foreign Secretary also registered the government's concern over heli maneuvers near LOC on the 11th of July. Protest was also lodged over unprovoked ceasefire violations by Indian BSF at Huklian Akhnur sector early on the morning of the 15th of July. Let's get a word from Maha Siddiqui, who's with us live from the national capital. Maha, Pakistan now lodging a formal protest with the Indian High Commission, claiming that BSF Jawans have engaged in unprovoked fire along the LOC. They're also claiming that that drone once again belonged to Indian spy agencies.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, Simi, now Pakistan is laying the blame of the entire issue on India. In fact, accusing India of starting unprovoked firing along the border. But India has maintained continuously that the firing has started unprovoked from the Pakistan side. In fact, yesterday there was cross-LOC firing in which one civilian lost their life. In fact, after that, the Indian High Commissioner to Pakistan, Raghavan, had spoken to the Pakistan Foreign Secretary twice, and we also know that here in India, the Pakistan High Commissioner Abdul Basit was also told of India's displeasure, and in fact India lodged a protest with him over this unprovoked firing from the Pakistan side, after which the whole issue of the drone came up, where Pakistan said that a drone allegedly from the Indian side was taking pictures of the LOC, and this was in POK. In fact, if you put all of this together, the Indian side and many on the Indian side actually believe that this whole story of the drone that came up was only to divert attention and actually camouflage this whole issue that India had raised of the consistent ceasefire violations from Pakistan's side. And today we are seeing that when Pakistan Foreign Office called the Indian High Commissioner, they lodged a protest not just over the drone issue, which they had said last evening, but also tried to lay the blame on India for ceasefire violations as well.
Absolutely, Maha. What you're basically saying is a tit-for-tat policy being practiced by Pakistan. India lodges a formal protest with the Pak High Commissioner. Pakistan does exactly the same. When Indian agencies raised an alarm about aerial surveillance, Pakistan tried to blame India for that drone after Pakistani army claimed to have shot down an Indian drone during a clandestine aerial surveillance mission. India has unequivocally denied the allegation. The Pak army earlier released images of the drone, which it claimed was being used for aerial photography near the line of control. They claim that the unmanned drone was shot while in flight across the LOC in Bhimbar Gully sector near Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch. However, the Indian Army and the Air Force have rubbished Pakistan's claims and asserted that the drone does not belong to India. BSF sources have told India today that the drone was being operated by Pak agencies. BSF sources also added that an unmanned aerial vehicle from Pakistan's side was seen on the 3rd of July by border outpost Ballar. The drone was flying merely 500 meters from the zero line and at a height of 1,000 meters. This is a clear violation of international norms. India believes that, like the drone that crashed on the 3rd of July, the latest drone is also being operated by Pakistan, and they are only trying to play the victim card. We're seeing claims and counterclaims by the Indian Army and the Pak Army. Maha Siddiqui is with us live from the national capital. Maha, the Indian Army had raised an alarm about an alleged Pakistani drone on the 3rd of July as well. So this isn't clearly the first time.
Well, yes, absolutely. And that is why we are seeing this whole issue now blowing out of proportion, with the blame now coming in from Pakistan's side that they shot down a drone that was taking pictures along the LOC, and they say that breached their territorial integrity, and that is why they had to resort to shooting down that drone. Now, on the Indian side, it has been made amply clear both by the Army and the Indian Air Force that there was no drone from the Indian side that went on the Pakistani side. In fact, from the administration, what we understand is that voices are emerging that the drone was belonged to rather Pakistan itself, and there was a mishap which crashed. When it crashed down, they lay the blame on India that this drone actually belonged to India. But what is interesting, Simi, is that this whole affair and this blame and allegations, counter allegations that are taking place are coming at a time when Prime Minister Narendra Modi has just about a week back met the Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, where Nawaz Sharif had in fact said to the Indian side that they will look into the crucial issue of ceasefire violations. India had raised that issue. We also know that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi had said that the biggest stumbling block between the good relations between the two sides is the fact that there has been no progress on 26/11, and India wants to see progress on that before ties are improved. And even on that, Nawaz Sharif had given a sort of commitment, but within some few hours we saw that Sartaj Aziz gave a statement saying that it will not be possible to share the voice samples because the excuse that they were giving is that the courts don't allow that in Pakistan. So we are clearly seeing that there have been U-turns, and these U-turns are coming just within a week of that crucial meeting. And what we also understand is that there is a fear on the Indian side that Pakistan is trying to provoke India, and that these are deliberate attempts to do so.
Absolutely. Sources saying this may be an effort to derail talks. Maha, stay on with us. Now, talking tough on the spate of recent ceasefire violations, India has asserted that it is disappointed at the continuous violations by Pakistani army. The matter has been taken up with Pakistan High Commissioner Abdul Basit. Ever since the lofty promises made during the UFA meet, Pakistan has indulged in several provocations. Just this morning, the army foiled an infiltration bid on the line of control in Punch. Defense sources say that Indian army noticed movement of 3 to 4 terrorists near Pakistani jungle post. Defense sources are telling India today that Pakistani rangers were providing cover fire for these terrorists. Pakistani rangers violated the ceasefire in Arispura sector along the international border in Jammu, where they targeted 3 BSF posts. 3 villagers were injured in the firing. On Wednesday, 1 civilian had been killed and 3 BSF Jawans were injured after Pakistani troops opened unprovoked fire along the international border in Jammu. The opposition hitting out at the government, questioning its foreign policy vis-a-vis Pakistan. Let's get a word from Maha Siddiqui, who's with us live. Also with us, Shuja al Haq, who's with us on the phone line from Srinagar. Shuja, I want to come to you first. We saw a spate of ceasefire violations by Pakistan in the beginning of the year. Several incidents of firing along the international border and the LOC were also repeated. There was a brief lull. Has there been an increase after that UFA meeting?
Well, that's what it looks like to me. You know, over past 48 hours, there have been several ceasefire violations that have been reported both on the line of control as well as international border. In fact, today there was an infiltration bid as well, which was filed by the army in Punch area. 1 woman has already lost her life, and there are several people who are injured, including 1 BSF Jawan as well in these recent, ceasefire violations. And fire is being responded from Indian side as well. We're getting reports that there are certain posts in Mainder area from Pakistan side which is also reportedly damaged. So clearly the escalation of tension is definitely happening in these areas, and it is immediately after the 2 prime ministers met in UFA, and then there was a statement issued by the foreign secretaries of both the countries. So there is definitely some link that can be attributed to this recent space violence that is happening along the line of control and international border between the two sides.
Right, and Maha, these increasing provocations by Pakistan, increasing incidents of firing and ceasefire violations has given ammunition to the opposition to hit out at the Modi government. They claim that handshake between Nawaz Sharif and Narendra Modi was merely a photo op.
Absolutely. We just heard Ghulam Nabi Azad saying that what transpired in Ufa is clearly something that is not enough, because Pakistan has not so far lived up to any of the commitments that it has made starting from 26/11. The perpetrators of that horrific crime have not been brought to book, and Pakistan also taking a U-turn on providing voice samples of Zakir Rahman Lakhvi, with Sartaj Aziz making it clear that they will not be able to share those voice samples because their courts don't allow so. However, India and Pakistan, both of them know that if Pakistan is actually serious about bringing the perpetrators of that crime to book, then there are several other ways of handing over those voice samples to India. Also, let me point out that the government already has enough on its platter this time around during the monsoon session of Parliament that is starting shortly. There is this Vyapam scam. There is this whole issue of impropriety with regards to the External Affairs Minister Vasundhara Raje, and now this is just adding to the worries of the government with this increased ceasefire violations on part of Pakistan. The government definitely has been pushed to a corner and will have to do a lot of answering in the monsoon session of Parliament. Tough days ahead for the government.
Absolutely tough days ahead for the government. Its worries continue to pile on. Maha, thanks so much for that update. We're going to keep coming back to you for more. It's not even been a week since India and Pakistan promised peace on the sidelines of the summit in Russia, but relations have quickly taken a turn for the worse. The handshake between Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Nawaz Sharif, which raised hopes of a new start between the two nations, seem as distant as the prospects of peaceful borders. Everything from provocative statements by Pakistani leaders to deadly ceasefire violations have punctuated these last few days since the handshake. Sanket Upadhyay gets us the 5 top betrayals from Pakistan.
So let's take a look at betrayal number 1. Pakistan's post-Ufa betrayals. First the promise, then the betrayal. I mean, raising doubt whether we should have actually taken their promise very seriously. 3 major ceasefire violations have taken place in Jammu and Kashmir. 1 kill, several have been injured. 1 kill includes a civilian. Betrayal number 2, at least 3 infiltration bids, 4 militants have been killed. The one happened this morning in the wee hours. Betrayal number 3, let's put that on the screen right now. Okay, betrayal number 3, Pakistan claims shooting down an Indian drone bid to derail peace, because India has very clearly come out and said that the drone never belonged to India. Let's take a look at betrayal point number 4. Sartaj Aziz and his tough talk just a day after those promises that were made. He said, no talks if Kashmir is not discussed. And betrayal number 5, Pakistan's U-turn on Zakir Rahman Lakhvi's voice samples, where Sartaj Aziz said that conclusive proof has to be given by India. Until then, Pakistan can actually do nothing. So each day after Ufa in Russia, of that grandstanding that Pakistan actually did, you have betrayal after betrayal on all the points or all the bonhomie that one actually saw.